President Bola Tinubu departs Nigeria for Nairobi, joins other African leaders for the 5th Mid-Year Coordination Meeting of African Union. Nigerians commend President Bola Tinubu's request for legislative approval of 500 billion naira as palliatives to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. Good evening, you are welcome to NTA Ijebu-Ode News at 7. My name is Titi Layoke. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Here are the details of our package. President Bola Tinubu has departed Nigeria for Nairobi, Kenya to join other African leaders for the 5th Mid-Year Coordination Meeting of the African Union. Claire Hadelabu Abdurazak tells us more.
Presidential wing of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, accompanied by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, and Dele Alake, his Special Advisor on Special Duties, Communication and Strategy. President Tinubu is attending the meeting both as Nigerian leader as well as the new chairman of ECOWAS, one of the 8 regional economic communities. He is expected to present a report on the status of regional integration in ECOWAS, highlights actions carried out during the period under review by ECOWAS institutions, member states, the private sector, and other stakeholders to deepen integration through trade, free movement of persons, investment promotion, infrastructure, development, peace and security, as well as stability. The meeting with the theme Acceleration of African Continental Free Trade Area Implementation brings together the Bureau of the AU Assembly, comprising heads of state and government from Comoros Island, Botswana, Burundi, and Senegal, as well as the leaders of the 8 regional economic communities. The president is expected back in the country at the conclusion of the meeting.
National development is what every nation yearns for, and achieving it goes beyond government efforts alone. Various communities that make up any sentiment have crucial roles to play towards contributing to the overall development of a country. In this report, Ingino John Adams tells us more about how some communities in Lagos are contributing to national development. The report.
Just like the saying, little drops of water make a mighty ocean, depicting that every contribution by each tier of government towards national development makes great impact. Most times, people depend on government for projects that directly affect various sectors like the economy, education, public safety, health and environment, forgetting that little community contributions like provision of boreholes, local security support and environmental sanitation are also important to national growth and development.
At the grassroots level, you see a primary school that is not properly constructed by a contractor, or the health sector, the health workers are not going to work. It's now like communities need to now begin to take ownership.
A number of communities in Lagos have over the years demonstrated the power of community contributions towards entrenching the security structure of not only the state but the nation, in addition to social and economic growth.
The state governments allow us to have our own private security, which some people normally term as vigilante, who looks after the people of the community.
You have a lot of community members who are into small-scale businesses. We relate with distribution companies. We also contact our representative so that small businesses within our community flourish.
As the nation treads the path of development, it is expected that communities will maximize their efforts towards the growth of Nigeria. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NT.
The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has filed an application before the Federal High Court, Abuja Division, asking the court to set aside its May 10, 2023 judgment in which it issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the commission from further imposing fines on radio and television stations. In the motion filed on its behalf by Babatunde Ogala, SAN, the Commission is asking the court to set aside the judgment, claiming that the court lacked jurisdiction to render the verdict and that it arrived at the decision in ignorance of relevant facts. In his judgment delivered on May 10, 2023, Justice James Omotosho ruled that fines are sanctions imposed on a person who has been found guilty of a criminal offense, and the law in Nigeria. Only courts of law are empowered to impose sanctions for criminal offenses, but contrary to the finding of the judge in his judgment that the NBC was served with originating summons on 24th February 2022 and served with further hearing notices but failed to file any process. The Commission is alleging that the originating summons in the suit which led to the judgment was not served on it. Justice Omotosho has fixed hearing of the motion for October 5th, 2023. Carry out your duty without any fear or favor to save the nation from the already eating at climate change. This was the charge to members of the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Forest Management as an operationalization workshop. Adebola Brooksing Sunday reports.
Challenges from deforestation, encroachment, illegal logging, wildlife trade to climate change. To address these challenges, the Federal Ministry of Environment is using a multifaceted approach through community engagement and international cooperation. The reason for constituting this Inter-Ministerial Joint Task Force, Director of Forestry Ajara Umar Sami said, is to save the forests.
Put in place whistleblowers, both from the community level, the NGOs, the CBOs, in such a way that each time any illegality is cited in the forest, we will be informed about it and we will quickly swing into it.
All the needed things that will make them to function, are also provided. Because if all those things are there, the issue of compromise will really be very, very minimal, or it will not even be there.
Members of the team assured the Ministry of Non-Compromise.
We make sure that anybody that found wanting will be punishable according to rules and regulations guiding the task force.
Without reforestation, we can't continue the business. And with the sustainability and guideline policy, we just have to key into it.
The guidelines and standards are expected to regulate the sector and ensure sustainable forest management while increasing revenue generation for the country. Adebola Brooksling Sunday, NTA News.
Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care, a non-governmental organization, has given a check of 100 million naira to less privileged Nigerians to tackle various life-threatening health challenges. Francis Udojo, who covered the event in Abuja, reports that 15 persons benefited from the gesture. The reports.
It's easier to rush to a pharmacy to get a drug for a case of headache, but not when it has to do with kidney problem, a hole in the heart, and also cancer.
This is because the medications for such diseases have to be prescribed, and the financial power to tackle them is usually a big challenge. This is what 7-year-old Ode Ogine with a head tumor and several others with life-threatening challenges have been going through. The gift of 100 million naira to Ode Ogine along other beneficiaries is hope of survival for them.
This condition has been here for 7 years, right from childbirth. And today, with their support and their donates, their love and care, we'll be going for the surgery, and I want to say a very big thank you to them.
I thank you with this organization to give me 2 million naira to put my stomach to calm down. I appreciate them.
I thank God for what He do for my life. God will bless Him for this check, 10 million that He give me. God will bless Him.
Surviving different life-threatening hurdles, the Director General of GIPLC, Nuhu Kwajata, said prompted his move to put smiles on the faces of the needy.
We are giving hope to those in need and there's no achievement in life like putting a smile on the faces of those in need. So we were able to raise about 100 million naira during a charity event organized by our grand patron, Igor Charles Sanomi, and 100 million naira was raised, and today we're distributing the money among 15 children who are going for various surgeries within and outside Nigeria.
Just as beneficiaries like Ode Ogine are grateful to God and GIPLC for the love and care, 4 years Jasin Olumeka, born without a kneecap, who needs $50,000 for surgery, will expect assistance not only from Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care, but from government to foot his bills and many others in his shoes.
Congratulations, sir. God bless you.
In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Nigerians are commending President Bola Tinubu's request for legislative approval of 500 billion naira as palliatives to reduce the effects of removal of fuel subsidy on the citizenry. Our business correspondent, Bosede Abel, has been talking to the Nigerians about their expectations and now tells us more.
Unfortunately, the budget that I've glimpsed before I assumed office and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. So fuel subsidy is gone.
This statement sparked reactions from long fuel queues to prices of commodities and increase in transportation, as the outcry from citizens also got louder.
Now the case seems different, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is urging Nigerians to exercise patience as the framework for palliatives to ease the hardship brought on by the petrol subsidy removal is being worked out.
The request has become necessary in order to, among other things, source for funds necessary to provide palliatives to mitigate the effect of the recent removal of fuel subsidy on Nigerians. Thus, the sum of 500 billion naira only has been extracted from the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act of 819 billion 536 million 937,815 naira only.
What do the people want from the 500 billion naira when approved?
The best way to disperse the money is to go in for the purchase of trucks, buses. Like sometimes we had Air-Revive buses that are still there. Some of them can be refurbished and put to use, while brand new ones are brought in.
I would have admonished the federal government to pull all those resources towards our refineries, thereby making it to work and bring out the best of what we have within our locality.
But in terms of the distribution processes, at least it requires that they should get a trustworthy people.
So my expectation is let Tinubu put eye and let him put a committee that will monitor the payment.
As an economic development expert, I will tell you straight up, one of the most important area where this should go into is transportation logistics. Now, because moving goods from one point to another because of the fuel price, so goods and services have actually, the price of goods have actually gone up a whole lot, and then also based on the fact that we've had some inflationary pressure on our commodity, on food. This would actually help to, bring down the price of food, in the market. Then again, I think another part of it will actually go to the poorest of the poor in the rural communities, because they are also hit by the removal of subsidy.
The president has also reminded Nigerians that the decision was in the best interest of the country and assures of a more prosperous future. In Abuja, Bosede Abel, NTA News.
Muslim faithful are being advised to rededicate themselves to God and pray for the leaders of Nigeria to be proactive and encourage good governance. This admonition is coming from a rededication conference organized by the Tijaniya Movement of Nigeria, held in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Sheyi Ogunbayo's report is hereby presented.
Rededication roadmap for Nigeria and special meeting among women of the Tijaniya in Yoruba land, Edo and Delta states. The chief host, Grand Caliph of Tijaniya in Yoruba land, Edo and Delta states, Sheikh Salit Alao Adenekon, urged President Bola Tinubu to tackle insecurity, corruption and job creation.
If not Allah, we are not secure. But I know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will perform well in terms of security.
The Baba Adini Tijaniya of Nigeria, Sheikh Ola Yusuf, in his opening remark says prayers are important for the leaders and subjects to attain good governance.
We are going through pains, but our hope and prayer is that this pain will be relieved and happy days will come ahead.
While speaking on the theme of the conference, the guest speaker, Professor Sherif Din Tella and Alhaji Lukman Wahab, emphasized the need to have good governance that will have multiple effects on Nigerians.
Problem of patriotism and nepotism. And I said that if we're able to tackle these problems, definitely Nigeria will move forward.
When husbands, when men lose, security with their wife, they have lost all the security.
The conference also centered on the role of women in social development, societal stabilization, and nation security.
There is no marriage without the soul weeping. But if you know what you are doing and you support yourself, you communicate, definitely you will move forward.
Tijaniya Movement of Nigeria Rededication Conference has as its theme, Next Level for Nigeria to Develop, Rededicate and sustain her prosperity.
More reports after the break. Keep watching.
The words are hard to find, but they're still heavy on my mind tonight. The pain is deep inside, but I still want to hide. Happy birthday!
Is this what you really want to do?
Yes, Dad. That's what I've been trying to show you.
Fight for your dreams the advanced way with Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
My son, calm down now.
Yeah, why do you sweat like I'm rubber?
My uncle no go bike. Uncle!
What's up?
Uncle, meet Andy. He has come to ask for my hand in marriage.
Good morning and good afternoon, sir. What about good night? Are you seeing a movie? What nonsense!
Son, you are in control.
No, sir. It's my parents in the village. I'm doing a video call since they can't be here.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ jẹ́ àǹfààní ọgọ́rùn-ún mẹ́fà owó ìpè ọ̀fẹ́ àti àfikún ìdá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rin ní gbogbo ìgbà tó o bá fowó sórí ẹ̀rọ ìpè rẹ pẹ̀lú àfikún tó tó ìdá ọgọ́rùn-ún lórí ètò dátà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ ètò ìpè àti dátà tó nípọn lẹ̀ bí orí àjànàkú.
The Kwara State Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has collected and remitted over 9 billion naira to the Federation account between January and June this year. Customs Area Controller, Kwara Command, Controller Kehinde Dende Ilesomi, made this known during a media briefing on the scorecard of the second quarter of the command's activities in the state. Ahmad Fulani completes the report.
Giving a breakdown of the command's activities within the last 3 months, the head of the command, Comptroller Kehinde Ilesanmi, noted that the increment in revenue generation between 2022 and 2023, especially in the second quarter of the year, stands at 2,982,559,953 naira 23 kobo. This feat, according to him, was achieved as a result of the federal government's sustained effort at fighting the menace of smuggling and other related customs offenses, in addition to the command's renewed drive with the adoption of cutting-edge strategies.
I want to announce to you that the continued effort in fighting the menace of insecurity, trafficking, and smuggling at our land borders is still being tackled relentlessly. Kwara Command is uncompromising in its mandate of enforcing legitimate trade and facilitating trade among local industries.
Within the period under review, the command also seized 9 units of used vehicles, 813 bags of foreign parboiled rice of 50 kg, 24,950 liters of petroleum products in 998 jerrycans, and 14 kegs of vegetable oil of 25 liters. The command appealed for collaborative efforts of Nigerians, especially the media, in providing relevant and credible information that will help nip smuggling in the bud. Ahmad Fulani, NTA News.
Forest guards from the Federal Capital Territory have been fully equipped with basic forest management skills by the National Park Service. This is in the quest to properly man the forest and combat all forms of crime perpetrated against man and wildlife. Charles Alpha reports.
30 able-bodied men and women from the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, passed out from the 1-week intensive short course on forest laws, intelligence gathering, forest navigation, and identification of species of plants and animals. Conservator General of the National Park Service, Ibrahim Goni, in a message to the passing out ceremony, wants the training to hold on a more regular basis to equip more forest guards.
We also expect that with what they have learned, they will also be given the equipment to work with, especially like vehicles, but other field equipment, GPS and the rest.
There are a lot of things that we don't know before, like the laws, the use of firearms, the use of the compass, the use of the GPS, and all the rest like that. Because with the training, we have known a lot of things about it.
I've learned so many things, learning how to be a good forest guard when we go out in the field, how to carry on with our work, what to do, and how to give a good report after our paroles on the field.
One of the challenges posing great concern for the forests and wildlife is the unwholesome human activities, which the FCDA says it is ready to combat to a halt.
Some of the security challenges we are facing in the country will be out of it because they would have known most of these criminals are staying in the bushes and forests, and because the forests are not manned, are just left idle. When we have these foresters patrolling all over, we will definitely checkmate these things, and everything of this nature will not be happening, inshallah.
Charles Alpha, NTA News.
A UNICEF data on women and children showed that Nigeria's 40 million women of childbearing age between 15 and 49 years of age suffer high level of health issues surrounding birth. This medical experts say is traceable to many factors. Elizabeth Omoruyi, who was at a forum on maternal mortality, reports that experts highlighted rising rates of resource, isoimmunization, sensitization, and high cost of anti-immunoglobulin as some of the factors increasing maternal and child deaths. They further recommend strategic synergy with research institutions in the translation of findings into clinical practices to aid mother and child health, appealing to the federal government to establish health centers in all the geopolitical zones to hold effective referrals. And that is the news for tonight. But before we go, here are the recap. President Bola Tinubu departs Nigeria for Nairobi, joins other African leaders for the 5th Mid-Year coordination meeting of African unions. Lastly, we told you that Nigerians commend President Bola Tinubu's request for legislative approval of 5 billion naira as palliatives to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. My name is Titilayoke. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Good night.